How's it going, everybody? Here tonight with my buddy Rich from Pittsburgh Podcast, right there. We're gonna go off the rails a little bit. We'll probably talk about the main thing. We're gonna talk about the Mandela effect. If anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's they claim it's your mind playing tricks on you. That's what they claim. So Rich and I are going to talk about that because I don't necessarily think that's what it is, and
No,
I'm
I don't think
interested
it
in
is either.
and I'm interested in what he has to say. So you could start it off, Rich. What do you think? Tell me what you think about it.
Well, I can tell you some of it. I can tell you is mind tricks. Like there is Jiffy. You know what? You saw the Jiffy.
Oh yeah.
Uh, no, but it wasn't peanut butter, but it was near peanut butter. Jiffy. It was a cake mix. It's in the same aisle. So
Well,
people probably mistake that.
they
Uh,
have Jiffy box mixes of like cornbread and little
yeah,
they're
yeah.
little boxes of Jiffy.
So that's where I think people get Jiffy confused with because it was in the same aisle. But there
Eh,
are some things. I mean, now let's talk about Monopoly, dude. Monopoly was my favorite game as a kid.
with the little monocle.
It was always there.
Yeah, I
It was
agree.
always there.
I'll tell you my favorite one, and I've done some research on this one in particular. Is Shazam, the movie Shazam. They say it didn't exist. It had Sinbad in it, and then it also had who was the kid from Home Alone? You remember? Jonathan Taylor
Um,
Thomas. He was in it. And I remember it. I remember the movie. I remember going to the video store when I was a kid, and I remember seeing it on the shelf. So
well, see, I'm thinking Shazam had Michael Jordan in it.
no, no. If it was Shazam, I remember his. I remember his.
Wait,
What the hell was the pants? Who was that? Who was that rap? MC Hammer pants on?
yeah, yeah, because the
Yeah,
big gold. He had
yeah,
big. Shazam had big gold hammer pants.
yeah. But
Yeah.
there's quite a few. Like another popular one is the Berenstein Bears. That was a popular one. They said that it's Berenstain, not Berenstein.
Yeah.
Stupid, but another real popular one. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I remember when Star Wars came out was the Luke, I'm your father, and supposedly he never said
I'm
that.
your father, Luke.
Yeah, he never he what he supposedly what he said was no, I am your father, but it always like Luke, I am your father. I remember that.
See,
I've said that to people.
hmm, some
So
of them it's sort of like something must have happened, man. It's just
well, let's go
how is
down that
it
road.
possible that
Let,
millions of people have the same weird? I mean, I can see if like a couple dozen people remember it wrong, but we're talking millions, man.
yeah, well, let's go down that road. Is it a tear in the matrix? Is it a different dimension? Are we is that what it's about? I mean, I don't know. Hell, I'm no just like with any of this stuff. I am no expert. Don't take my word for it. Do the
I
research.
don't remember any of this
You know.
happening
Um.
until the other night we talked about the CERN collider.
Oh yeah, I've read some stuff on that, by the way.
I don't think any
I
of
kind
this
of
ever
got.
happened until then.
When was that?
Yeah, that messes me up too. I can't tell you
Well,
the year.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago, even.
Was it about
There was
15?
some kid. There was some genius kid though that wrote all this paper on that, and he said it happened. I just watched Joe Rogan talking about it too. So, yeah, that would be let's steer back on course a little bit, but that would be a tear in the matrix. That would be a different dimension. So, I mean,
Well,
is that possible? But to think like a dimension is going to have Berenstain instead of Berenstein. Surely surely not, right? Or a Monopoly guy with a monocle versus not. Is that like
the
I don't know.
Monopoly guy always had the monocle, man. Do you remember it? Like
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I can still see it. But that's
right
the
there in the
whole
middle of the box, he's running his little monocle.
you know. And
Because
the things
all the
like
rich people, all the
yeah,
bankers, they all had the monocles. That was clearly a sign of it
right,
was
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So there's and I remember I'm not versed on this at all, but I thought I remembered Mandela himself dying, but no, he got out of prison. He became the president of Was it Africa? No.
Someplace in it. Well, not someplace in Africa.
Yeah, it was. He became president of someplace, and then he died like in 2016 or something like that. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Man, he died when I was in middle school, from what I remember correctly. I was
South
a
Africa.
kid.
He was the
He
president of
died
South
when he was in
Africa.
jail.
He died in 2013, according to this one. You know, this dimension that we're on right now. He got out of jail in 09. I think that's right.
That's not
In
what I
09.
remember. I was in a Catholic school. I must have been in maybe fourth
Hey,
grade.
let me take 1 second. Creek said hello, so I want to say hi, Creek. I see there's 10 people in here. I want to make sure we say hi to all 10 people. Nothing aggravates me more than to get on a live chat,
Hey, yo.
and people are so talkative they don't even pay attention to the actual people that are texting in. So I want to make sure we stop ourselves occasionally and just say, hey, how's it going? Appreciate everybody stopping in and listening to me and this guy right here going back and forth. We appreciate it. We really do. See, there's 14 people in here now, so just want to say hi to all 14 people. Okay,
How
go
you
ahead.
guys doing?
I didn't mean to stop you.
Oh, you didn't stop me. I'm glad we have some people here in the conversation.
Kiwi Hyajin. I hope I can't pronounce that, but wanted to say hi. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good. How you doing, Rich? You doing good tonight? Yeah, he's doing good. He's knocking stuff around. So yeah, he's doing good.
Hey, no, yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, Mandela effect is pretty crazy. And like
Yeah.
I said, there's like all kinds of examples over and over and over. Star Wars, Snow White. What do you think about that one?
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah, that's what we all think it says, but it says magic mirror on the wall, according to Ben.
Really?
Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Kiwi, that's what I'm going to call you, is Kiwi. We got a subscription on there, so I appreciate it. If you want to, go to Pittsburgh Podcast. He's got it printed right up there. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel too. We'll bounce back and forth. We'll go on mine and we'll go on his, but thank you.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Podcast, where we got Pirates and Steelers and all these fun things.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how about the Forrest Gump one?
I've been in arguments with people lately. This new season, since football's been on, the Steelers did have cheerleaders at one point. No one believes me.
Kiwi mentioned the Pittsburgh Steelers, so you guys are on the same page.
Yeah.
I don't follow baseball, so I don't know anything about the Steelers. Gotcha. I know it's football, but I don't follow it.
I come from an alcoholic town with a sports problem.
Yeah, right. He's a Ravens fan. Kiwi's a Ravens fan. Where are the Ravens from? Where are the Ravens from? South Carolina?
Look, let's not get political on this podcast.
Where are the Ravens from? There used to be Baltimore. They're not now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I really don't know.
Where everyone shuffles around.
Well, I grew up in Phoenix, and when Phoenix didn't have a sports team, they took them from St. Louis years after I left. But anyway, am I a Steelers fan? No, I am not. But that guy, he about has to be living in Pittsburgh. I think he'd probably get run out if he wasn't. Is that true, Rich?
Am I a Steelers fan?
Yeah, it asks.
You see the way my logo is written?
What's that?
Come on, man. You fucking. Jeez. Yeah, I don't like the Steelers at all. I'm a Cleveland fan that lives in Pittsburgh.
Cleveland? The toilet bowl?
Wait, I just signed my death warrant. Hold up. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I hear him baiting on your door right now.
Oh, man. Here's what's funny. I'm trying to find us.
Thank you, Kiwi. Appreciate it. He said he's not a Steelers fan, but he'll support us, so you got to like that. So yeah, let's get back where we were at. You said you've argued with people about is it the Forrest Gump that you were talking about? or did I misunderstand that?
Wait, did I just turn you off on both things here?
No. I can hear you. I can see you, and I can hear you just fine.
Okay, no. So I just changed what I'm doing over here on the laptop so that I can see what people are writing because I can't see over there.
That's cool.
My blindness, but I can see
You need
this.
to borrow these? You need to borrow these?
And, yeah,
I got
I can
glasses.
use those.
Here you go.
No, thank you. But so wait, are you guys Steeler fans? Well, you don't like Steelers, but I'll support you. Hey man, I don't like you don't got whatever. I just like the sport.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I honestly, and no offense to anybody, I could take it or leave it. I never watched a football game ever. I know just enough to where I can have somewhat of a conversation, and I pay attention to what's going on. So I mean, but I'm no fan. I don't. I don't even watch the Super Bowl.
If it's on, I like the Super Bowl commercials. I mean, if it's on in the background and I'm hanging out with people, and you see some guys do something cool where they jump over and they're like blah blah.
Yeah, but especially as I've gotten older, I'm just like, I think it's all like, how did that? There was some like King Louis or something said, something about give them sports and let them eat, and they won't. You can do whatever you want. And I look at it that way, especially as I've gotten older. Like they just, excuse me, they just keep a lot of people busy watching sports.
Well,
Meanwhile, they're doing all kinds of crazy shit. But that's going to be a whole nother topic that I'm working on.
yeah.
We're gonna beat the government on it. So tonight we don't need to do
that. Speaking of that, man, I wonder. There's got to be some kind of sports stuff out there that has to do with the Mandela effect, like a year that people won, no one remembers, or like I was saying earlier, the Steelers really did have cheerleaders in 1962.
Yeah, I thought they all had cheerleaders.
No, the Steelers just for 1 year.
I know Miami did, and so did Dallas. Wow.
Well, that's why they were everyone's favorite teams, man. We was watching them for the calendars, not the game.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, man. I got to tell you, that's what I was looking at.
All right, so you asked about sports. So yeah, it shows up in the uniforms. So the Lakers colors. It says that they were a slightly different color of purple and gold than they are today. I wouldn't know. I'm not up to it today. I know purple and gold, and that's about what I would know.
Was that in the Mandela effect realm of things?
Yeah. You asked. I wonder if there's anything in sports with that. Another one is. Do you remember what Muhammad Ali is famous for saying?
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Rumble, young man, rumble. Yeah, it says that's actually a combination of two separate ones. It's not the same. He didn't say that all at once. It said it two different times, two different instances, and it was put together.
Yeah, I remember it. Cassius Clay. But float like a butterfly.
Yeah, he's from South Bend, which is like not far from where I'm at. I'm probably an hour from there, which is where Notre Dame is at. But yeah, that's where Muhammad Ali. That's where I believe he was living there until he died.
Wow. Yeah, well, that must have been. That was probably longer ago than I think, but it's shorter than I remember. Because I remember seeing him when he was in bad shape. He was shaking. And,
oh yeah, he did. He got bad. He got beat in the head a bunch of times. So you can about almost guarantee that, anticipate that happening. So here's another one: the Green Bay Packers G logo. Fans often believe that the Packers G is identical to the University of Georgia, blah blah, University of Georgia's, but they're actually shaped way different. Is what it says. I thought it was the same one. I'm not gonna lie about that. I definitely thought it was the same.
Wow. This is totally off topic, and this is just because I'm a mental lunatic. But I I said this to this guy at work, and then I realized I shouldn't have said it at work. But at least dude was overage. And I was trying to explain. I was like, you know what? I really hate this place. And he's this Mexican guy. And I was talking about aliens. I was like, don't worry, man. I ain't going to turn you in. You're probably all right. And it was just funny. He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
But
that's
then I says to him, you know, if you want to get ahead, you got to give some head. Because it's
oh
not who
wow,
you
whoa,
go,
whoa,
it's who
whoa,
you blow. And if you
whoa,
ain't twerking, you ain't working.
whoa.
And that's the American way.
Yeah, I don't. I think there's some truth to that, but I advanced in work, and I can tell you, I've never blown anybody to do that. So I can tell you that. I mean, that's a fact. But I've never went from like the bottom to the top either. I do think I got lucky a couple of times, and then there was one time where I became the boss, and I wanted to be the boss, and then once I was the boss, it was like the worst thing I ever did. Like it was just terrible. You want to talk about getting a shaft? The boss got the shaft because it was
Oh
just
man,
part of
everybody hates the
it was
boss.
part of a bigger company. And,
Everybody hates the boss.
So Kiwi asked if we have a favorite baseball team. I really don't. I'm not into sports. I watch motorcycle racing and stuff like that, but I'm not into baseball, football, basketball, none of that stuff. I don't follow any of it. So that was the last question that was asked. You mentioned aliens, so I'll bring up like I've been reading quite a bit lately on that 3-eye atlas, and some people are going out there pretty far and saying like I read one thing today that they said that they detect like city structures inside that thing. That kind of freaks me out because like number one, it's traveling 170,000 miles an hour. Number
Yeah,
two, it's that far away, but they claim they can. I don't even know
it
how
can
they
make
can
it
see
can
it.
make it it can make it from your house to Hawaii in 4 minutes, man.
Yeah, right, right. But they have this telescope. They can reach out there and they can see all this going on, and it's just kind of, I don't know, kind of suspect to me, I guess. I
No,
think there's some element of freaking people out when they say shit like
deep. I don't know, man. I kind of hope it's aliens. I hope they're cool.
that. Hey, as
But
long as they
I
bring a,
also, at the same time, I gotta wonder. Maybe many of these things have been coming past us for way more than what we know, but because all this technology is new, like I mean,
well, I,
it is.
this is a lukewarm answer, but yeah, no. I think like they've known a lot about a lot of stuff in the past. So why would that how that got its name? It's only the third object that they've ever done that. But this thing like changed its course. One thing that I read, and I don't know if it's true, but it changed its course and it was going over towards Mars, and now it's more towards Earth. So it's not like in a straight line. And then something else, and if I understood it right, it's like it's flying. It's has something to do with the sun, and the sun usually pulls objects because of its gravitational pull. It moves it towards them, and this thing's not doing that. This thing's like staying the course. So there's odd things that are going on with this particular one that are different than any other, and it has to do like I think I read it was like 13 miles. It's the size of Long Island, right? Does that sound
That's
right?
big. That's
Yeah,
pretty big.
yeah. But as far as the universe is concerned, it's really not.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
But like you said you hope they're coming or you don't know, but like if they come, I hope they bring lung disease cures. That would be awesome. I'd let them show up, and as long as they, I don't want an injection. That stuff freaks me out nowadays. But they could wave their green hand over me and be like, "You're healed." That would be awesome.
that would be
So
pretty cool.
that's my hope.
Wow,
My hope is that they're going
that'd
to
be
bring
cool.
shit with them. And I've thought about this too. Is like, if it's all true, it's like, what are we going to do about it? Like seriously, what are we going to do about it?
Really
Go out,
nothing.
go outside and look up and just watch because my 9mm ain't going to do nothing to
Well, yeah,
them.
that little piece of lead.
No, no, not if they have capable of taking a ship 13 miles long and shoving it through the galaxy at 170,000 miles an hour. Yeah, my 9
But that
millimeter.
would be cool. That would be cool if they came here with healing capabilities and.
Well, and I'd have to do a little bit of research. Maybe I can find something on here. There was a president. This is a story now, and I watched this. There was a president that had a meeting with. Let me think. Who had a meeting with with the Nordics? You know what I'm talking about? An alien race
Yeah,
of Nordics.
the real area.
Yep. Yep. And then later had a meeting with the reptilians. And what president was that? I'm gonna
I
have to.
I can see his face. I remember because he had like the round glasses. It was
It
a
was like
black man.
it was like Eisenhower or something like that. But anyway, um, so there's like stories out there that this stuff exists that way. Like all the way to the top to the president. And then who was the other guy? Um, Jackie Gleason? Is that who it was?
Well, yeah, he was friends with was it Kennedy or
Not Kennedy, no.
like
He was
Nixon?
friends with Nixon. Was it? Yeah,
Yeah,
was it
Nixon
Nixon?
took them
Yeah, and he
and
believed it, man. It's
showed them.
like old boy believed it.
I
Like he
remember
said,
that
he's
story.
seen some stuff and he believed it. So,
Didn't Jackie Gleason end up building like a spaceship type of mansion somewhere after that?
yeah, something. Yeah, that could be something to that effect. But I know, like he died, and then his wife was like saying, yeah, he believed it, man. He was all about it.
To the
So,
moon, Alice.
well, and then I'd read too, like, and when I say read, it was either I watched or I read at some place that it wasn't that long ago that a bunch of leaders throughout the world went to Antarctica, and nobody's really sure why. And like Clinton was there, and a bunch of these leaders, like they flew there, and nobody's really for sure why they went there. So, you know, call me crazy, but it could, man.
You know, I know we went pretty far from the Mandela effect, but
Yeah, that's what we do, though. That's what
that's
conversation.
probably. But yeah, like I think that a lot of that falls into like this flat Earth theory because I was watching some things and look. I mean, I didn't do the research, so I'm just listening to what these people say. So I
I
don't
don't
know
buy
that
it. I
100%.
I, I already I can already tell you got into a lot of arguments with a guy I used to work with about it,
It's like
and
it's like both sides are right.
well, I'm not sold, man. And I've been out in the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean real far, and I'm a globe earther, man. I believe we're on a globe, and people say, "Oh, we'd fly off," and that's not how it works. Um, and I say that's not how it works because in my mind, okay, for instance, something simple like lighting a match. Okay, you light a match right here. You go like this, boom, and it lights. Right. Try doing that on the moon. It's not going to light. Just it's just not going to work. So something simple like lighting a match here, you go into space, outer space, out of our atmosphere, everything acts differently. So,
Well, you need the oxygen for the fire.
well, okay, but my point is like you gotta, it's different. So to try and work things out in your head, this is a way it was explained to me, and it made a lot of sense. You take a tennis ball. You know what a tennis ball is, right? The fuzzy, the fuzzy part is an atmosphere. So it affects that versus a racquetball, which is smooth, and then a tennis ball has the fuzzy part on it. So you could put a flea inside that fuzzy part and throw the ball and the flea not fall off because of the fuzzy part. But if you did that on a racquetball, the flea would fall off because of the wind. If that makes any sense how I'm describing it. So that's just one stupid thing. I think this, dude. Okay, honestly, I think like, and this will get a little off topic, but the same kind of applies. Are we all just that stupid? It's like the the Apollo missions. Like, there's people. Um, my wife is one of them. She's like, we never went to the moon. It was all faked, and I just have a hard time with that because there's too many people that would have to lie in order for that to not have happened. And there's too many people that would have to lie about lies that they've lied about after they've lied. And it's like you're talking tens of thousands of people, and they all happen to say, no, we went, with the exception of a couple. So I don't know. I don't know.
A few could lie
Uh,
to to
well,
a few more that would perpetuate that lie. So like maybe they put all these people in these rooms and they said, "You're doing this. You can't talk about it." And what they were showing them was actually a lie, and they were led to believe it. And it was like the most massive hoax ever
well,
because
once you say that, then the sky's the limit. But what I'm saying is literally take, like, what was it, Houston? Is that where they were at in Houston? So you have that group of people, and then you have the group of people that actually were building the hardware, and then you had the astronauts, and then you had like the administration to it all. And like, are they all lying about it?
well, everything was so compartmentalized
Yeah,
that like, these people built these parts, these people built these parts, and nobody really knew exactly what parts they were building.
except for
So
the people that were assembling it, but they were all building the parts with the same goal, and that is to fly outside of this planet's atmosphere.
why don't the
And it,
rockets ever go straight up though, man? They're always like go this way.
well, because we are moving.
But they say that has no effect on airplanes.
Well, who says that?
Um,
I know
people,
it takes me longer to fly from Phoenix to where I live now than it does to fly where I'm at now to Phoenix.
that makes sense because things are spinning, right?
Well, I
Things are
mean,
spinning.
technically you should be able to jump, and if you stay in the air long enough, you'll land in another state. But
Well,
that's where I say, like, it doesn't work that way.
if,
So
if I jump, I'm gonna land in the emergency room with a broken ankle. So that's the
right,
experiment I'm staying away
right.
from.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, and I try to work these experiments out in my head. If you're on top of a train and you jump, the train will move below you. If you're in the train and you jump, you stay with the train. So if you exercise that out into an airplane, if you're on top of the airplane and you jump, then the airplane's going to drive out from underneath you. If you're inside the plane, you don't end up on the back wall, right? You just jump and you're part of the plane. You move along with it. So that's
Man,
where our atmosphere
that's a
comes in.
wild physics, man.
Our atmosphere is spinning along with us, and I don't know. Once again, and as a disclaimer, I am no expert on anything. I'm a professional YouTube video watcher. That's it. I don't have, look back here, all that stuff. There's no degrees or diplomas or nothing hanging on the wall because I'm just an idiot. I just try to work things out in my head, and that's it. I wear shirts that have kittens on them, you know,
He
a-
does.
and I don't know how to cut my beard. So,
Search
like,
your
don't
kingdom.
don't take my word for anything I'm saying. Just use your own judgment. Do your own research. Try to figure it out. If it bothers you what I'm saying, try to figure it out. And I'm not gonna say prove me wrong because I'm not right about everything, so I can be proved wrong. But anyway, let's back up a little bit. Let's
Well,
back up.
I'm
Let's
thinking it'd be pretty damn neat to jump on top of. I think you never think about that when you're watching them old cowboy movies. You know,
think about what?
going on the train.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess you could. I mean, you could do it in a pickup truck, couldn't you?
Well, I would never jump in the bed of a pickup truck if it was new.
The fear of falling out, huh?
Yeah,
I'll tell you something.
I think it'd be going. You jump, and then the truckers would go and see them.
Well, I'll tell you something that would be cool is if you had a vehicle, a truck that went as fast as a speeding bullet, and then somebody was standing alongside the road and shot the same direction you was going and be able to drive next to that bullet. Wouldn't that be cool?
Like to actually look at the bullet next to
Yeah,
you.
to look out the window and see the bullet just flying through the air.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. So my
I don't,
question is if you're in the vehicle and you shoot, you're going as fast as a speeding bullet and you shoot, what does the bullet do? Does it just fall out of the end of the gun or does it actually take off?
well,
So let's work that out. If you're standing in the bed of a truck and you have a baseball in your hand and you throw it, does the baseball leave your hand and go in front of the truck? Say
actually,
if you're
I know from
say if you're doing like
experience,
say if you're doing
it
like
only
60.
goes the same speed as you're going.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's safe to say I could probably throw it 50 or 60 miles an hour. Would that probably not now, but just like at a point in my life. So here's what I think. Because you're in the truck, the ball's already doing 60 miles an hour. So you're accelerating at another 60 miles an hour. So ultimately it's going to go out in front of the truck. But it's hard to figure that out because the truck has constant momentum. As soon as the ball leaves your hand, it's at the mercy of, the wind and it's not propelled. So
Yeah,
so the same would apply with a bullet. If it's not like a mini missile. As soon as it leaves the gun, it's constantly getting ready to slow down. You know what I mean? So because the gun is inside the truck, it's already traveling at whatever speed. Versus if somebody was standing alongside the road and shooting, if that makes any kind of sense. So I think you'd
it
have two
does make
different effects.
sense, but then at the same time, you got to consider what about like fighter jets? You
What
know,
about 'em? What about
because
them?
they're going supersonic and at the same time while they're doing their loop de loops and crazy things.
Well, I guess the
They're
question would
still
be,
firing projectiles.
well, yeah, that would be the question. So do they have to slow down to fire a missile, or can they just fire a missile from whatever speed they want? Does an A-10 does it fire like what are they 30 millimeter cannons in the
Oh yeah,
front?
no, you got to be at certain speeds. You got to think. There's things that dictate that. Yeah.
Well, but and I've read quite a bit on that, but the the uh, the guns that they shoot out the front actually have so much pushback it slows the plane down. So here's something else that's pretty interesting. When they shoot that gun, they're brass casings, right? They
Yeah,
keep those casings. They keep those casings. Do you know why? Because it'll throw the plane's weight off if they don't. It'll throw the balance off from live rounds, so they keep the spent rounds to balance the plane. Otherwise, it'll get heavy on one side. Does that make sense?
yeah. I was watching this documentary recently on the World War II planes,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about how the guns on the wings really were a bad idea, and then until they came up with the P-52 Mustang and all the ones that fired them right from the front of the fuselage.
Yeah. Can you imagine the timing, dude? That it never hits the propeller, and there was a
Yeah,
mechanism.
isn't it amazing the way that I mean, man, because if one chain goes off, your guns are gonna split and then you're
Yeah, but
crap.
there's a mechanism in there. I watched something. It's been a long time ago, but there's a mechanism in there that it cannot happen that way. A bullet cannot go off if the propeller's in the way, just by timing. It's mechanical timing. So like when they squeeze the trigger, it's a mechanical device that
Oh,
it,
yeah,
it, it only lets it shoot when the propeller's not in the way. And it's a pretty simple design the way that it works. It's like the firing pin can't hit until the propeller's cleared. And when I say propeller, it was like a 3 or 4 bladed prop, and it would only yeah, it's pretty amazing that they figured that timing out.
I saw one design in the thing that I was watching. It was a German plane. The propeller was in the front, and the cannon was through the center of the propeller.
Oh
So the
wow.
thing that spun had
Yeah.
cannon in between it.
Right.
And
Yeah, they come up with some good ideas. I mean, them old guys were smart. At least I'd like to think, they were smart because they won a couple world wars.
if
The
people
tanks.
get that creative about helping each other.
Yeah, but the sad thing is like it's over war. Why don't they make machines that are like that guarantee people clean water? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
a pump's always been the same pump for the last 150 years, but they've come up with airplanes that fly themselves now, or drone technology, instead of supplying people with clean water.
That is wild, isn't it? It's the same place. People got the water. People got water wells and, and, and drinking dirt and bad things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Then we got like spaceships coming towards us, Space Force getting built to protect us. And it's like gonna be. It might become like some kind of Japan MA thing, man. Sort of like this. But Matt Cross. That's a. If you remember that Matt Cross, the Robotech.
No.
It was like the first cool Transformers. It was from Japan. It was this big alien ship crashed on Earth, and humans found out that we'd have to fuck with these giant aliens, and so we built these giant
Oh yeah, I
things.
think I know what you're talking.
Yeah, and well, that was the insignia on a Skull Leader, on the main aircraft.
Yeah, but I found too, like, I talked about anybody that'll talk back, and I found a lot of people just don't even care about stuff like that. They literally don't care. Like, as long as they can go get a Big Mac, they don't give a shit about what's flying through space. You know what I mean?
Man,
And I'm not gonna say I worry about it, but it's like, come on, man. Like, like
we did the worst thing as a civilization. Even all the great the minds of that type of thought would tell you, like we turned a light on as bright as it could be in the darkest forest and said, "Look, here we are."
dude, we've sent out signals to places, you know? Like we've
Did,
sent signals, radio signals out to try and be like, hey, we're over here. And
yeah, I love watching those camping videos, but then some of them I know are bullshit because they leave their light on. They're like, "Oh, I hear someone outside my tent. Let me turn my lights on inside my tent."
yeah, so
What the
you can
fuck
see
are you
exactly
doing?
where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But then I've seen episodes where there's people out there that are camping. They're like, "Oh shit, I just heard something," and they scatter like a motherfucker, turn every light off, and they lay on the ground. You know that motherfucker's real.
Yeah, but
But
then I guess you question like in that situation, if you're, if it's an animal, maybe the light will scare it off because they're just smelling around in the dark, and then all of a sudden, poof, this light lights up. And some animals would not care, but others would
well,
just take off.
in that situation, I think you should have some bear spray or a horn, or
You know,
it's a
lead
pistol
spray, lead
to
spray.
pop something off. Uh, the things that I've seen on these I love watching them. Don't get me wrong, but man, I think some of these dudes are die hard stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah, but this you always got to remember there. Like, I watch a lot of videos. Like I said, I don't work. I'm disabled because of this hose. You know that for
Yeah,
anybody that's watching. And so I have like an abundance of time, and Xbox gets old, and so I watch a lot of videos, and I watch all kinds of different videos. And you know, recently watched where these guys go out in the wood with like this shovel that's got a 2 foot handle on it and a hatchet, and they build this cabin. And it's like I don't ever remember a time in my life where I was that ambitious to do something like that, because that's a lot of hard work. Like
man,
like
dude, that
like
drove me some ball
they'll use
bust.
they'll use a hatchet to chop through a 12-inch log, and they'll be there for 2 hours doing it.
Yeah,
for one cut.
dig like 4 feet down in the ground, purple
Yeah,
square,
yeah,
like a roof.
yeah. And I just never been that ambitious to do stuff like that. So, but then again, I grew up without YouTube and videos and getting likes and views and all that other stuff. So we got 3 likes tonight. That's got to count for something. I know at one point we had like, what I say, 14 people in here watching. So yeah, I think there's one person in here, and if I had to guess, it'd be the true fat kid driving down the road listening to us talk. That's just my guess. Could be wrong. But
Keep your eye on the road, fat kid.
oh yeah, he drives a semi. It's got 3 trailers behind him. Can you imagine doing that, dude? Driving a
Dude,
semi with 3 trailers behind you? I sure as hell couldn't. Pulling triples down the toll road. Yeah, tough, tough.
I wouldn't want to drive a station wagon with 3 kids behind me in the back seat.
Right, right, right. He does it. He does it every day. Sometimes I think 6 days a week. So
Okay,
yeah,
well, thanks for
that's
listening.
probably who's listening to us. So anyway, hope you're out there. Hope you're listening. If you're not listening live, you'll listen to it later because I know you always listen to the live cast that I have. So I do appreciate you. So what else we going
So,
to talk about, Rich? I need to take a drink of water. So you take control for a minute.
well, you know, a lot of times when you got those moments you can look up into the night sky, if you got the right place without all the light pollution, you can always see weird fucking things, man.
That's true.
Sometimes I don't always think they are satellites.
That's true.
You
My
know?
older brother, he lives out in the country, and he just recently told me, he's like, dude, you need to go outside and like look up and just sit there and look at the sky for a while. And you'll see some stuff that you haven't ever seen. And he's like, I don't know how old he is. He's older than I am. I'm the youngest. He's the oldest, but yeah, he told me that. He's like, man, you need to go out. You need to take some time and go look out at the sky and look up. And where he lives at, there's a field across from his house. So he's got this huge field of view, of the sky. He lives out in the country, so there's not any light pollution at all. And I know there's a lot of stuff, dude. I know there's a lot of stuff out there.
And I can't wait till I can finally get a real vacation away from the city lights.
Yeah. I used to live that way where I live at now in this apartment. I'm in this like community, and I think I showed you a picture of it I took with my drone where it's
Yeah,
lit up,
yeah.
man. It's like it's lit up, and there's like marker lights on the sidewalks and lamp posts on the streets, and it's a really nice place. I love the architecture. They're all brick and nice. It's a nice place to live, but there's a lot of lights going on. So it's like it's difficult. And plus, there's nice big trees around here, so it's hard to just like stay attached to a hose and go walk outside and look up. I had this lady. I belong to these Facebook groups that are dealing with the same crap that I'm dealing with, and this lady was like, she was bummed out and having a hard time dealing with having to be connected to an oxygen hose all the time. And I told her, I just look at it sometimes like I'm a scuba diver and I scuba dive 24 hours a day, 7
Mhm.
days a week. And some people love to go, take their vacations to go scuba diving a couple of days out of the year. And I feel fortunate that I can scuba dive every day. That's what I do is I put a tank on and I go scuba diving every single day. It made me laugh.
That's wild, man. I need to start taking better care of myself. I'd smoke these stupid things.
Well, you roll your own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so that's healthier than ones that you buy. I mean,
yeah.
it still sucks for you to do that, but like go to a nightclub with a cigarette, dude, and look at it and under a black light.
You
It's
gotta,
disgusting. It's disgusting.
I can smell store bought brands.
Oh,
Like
I definitely can. I definitely can.
like I can if I'm like this the tobaccos that I smoke, you really can't smell. I mean, you
Well,
can.
my experience is that
You definitely can, but like if I'm walking down the street, I can smell. someone with the ones that they bought from the store.
Sure. My experience was when I smoked is I they're getting so expensive. When I lived in Phoenix, they were getting so expensive that I started buying tobacco and rolling my own because they were just so expensive. And they never took that edge off of it like regular cigarettes did. When I say regular, ones that I bought, pre-done. So I ended up buying I'd buy a pack of Camels, and then I'd buy tobacco to roll my own, and then in the morning, the first cigarette or two would be a Camel, and then I'd get through the rest of the day smoking other ones.
Oh yeah, and get that
And
going.
well, then I started thinking like I'm addicted to the chemicals they're putting in it. It's not the tar, it's not the nicotine, it's the fucking chemicals that are in it that are,
And
you
to an
know,
extent, the action and the way you can just step away from things, give you something to do when you step away from things.
yeah. Well, the job I used to do, I would I'd put a coat of paint on it, and then I'd be like, I'm gonna go outside and have a cigarette. By the time I come back, that'll be tacked up enough where I can do another coat. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it was just like, but
good
but you know,
timing.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like once I got diagnosed and I started thinking about my life and how I wasn't ready to go nowhere, I quit. Boom, just like that. And I haven't even thought about having a cigarette since then.
Well,
I
I'm
always
thinking,
the
my
last
plan is, since I got one of those cards, I'm gonna stop smoking cigarettes and I plan on buying an ounce of marijuana. I'm just gonna smoke joints.
good plan. Good plan. I did both for years and years. So I mean, I'm laughing, not like I'm laughing like, yeah, good plan, because that's yeah. You're like I said, the cigarettes you roll, they're not fire safe cigarettes, right?
Oh no, man! I burned the fuck out of everything with
Right,
these.
right. So that's what I'm saying is if fire safe cigarettes, they're manufactured, they put a chemical on them that makes them go out. And
Oh,
if you
the
don't let them
last
go
bottle of
out, you just
Marlboro
smoke
I had.
you just
Yeah,
smoke that chemical right along with it, like it's a chemical that puts fire out, but you're
you
going to
can
go ahead
see
and
the
smoke it.
rings in
Yes,
their
sir.
paper.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they all have to be that way now. Any manufactured cigarette has to be that way. So yeah, yeah, I get it. That's what made me start thinking like chemicals is what I was addicted to. And it's easy to say after you quit, but like it's a mind game. Smoking is a mind game. My dad is 79 years old and he smokes a pack and a half cigarettes every day. He's done it since he was like 13, 14 years old. Every day he tries to quit and he can't, but he can't because he likes to go sit outside or he likes to go down in the basement and have a cigarette, quiet
If,
time.
if he quit, it'd probably kill him.
That's what he says. What he says, but that's not true. It's really not true. We're human bodies are really versatile, so it's like, just because you quit smoking doesn't mean that you're going to die.
No.
No, but he believes that stuff, so it's like, I support him if he quits, but if he don't, that's his business. I remember telling people to kick the bricks when they told me I needed to quit smoking, like it was none of their damn business. I remember
So
telling my old lady, like, just get used to it. I'm a smoker. That's what I do.
I hate to interrupt you.
Sure, don't
So
worry
I'm,
about it.
I'm looking here. I'm checking out some of our latest comments. What is the last comment that you see in the
It
live?
says,
Yeah.
"Do you all have a favorite baseball team?" That's the
Mine is
last. That was from Kiwi Hayun Jin. So I don't. There's one person. There's one person
What
listening.
I see is I don't like Steelers, but I'll support you. But,
Yeah. And then there's the O, and then the next one down says, Do y'all have a favorite baseball team?" And that's when if you recall, that's when I was like, "No, I don't follow any sports. I watch motorcycles race and you know mud bogs, but I don't watch any kind of sports. I don't watch hockey or basketball or nothing like that." So
I get cut off at the bottom. All right, good. Just so make sure because I
that's
can.
all right. That's all right. No big deal. I want to go back to
That's
some
another thing.
I want to go back to some of this Mandela effect stuff. Do
Yeah,
you know
man.
anything? Do you know anything about the Looney Tunes?
I
It was it,
remember what
it
I know
was
about what I remember about the Looney Tunes was when they first started
no.
censoring.
I'm saying the Mandela Effect Looney Tunes, where they say that it's spelled TOONS, but really it's spelled TUNES.
Yeah, and it used to have little musical symbols right next to it.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, but has always been Looney Tunes with a U. And then Curious George, some remember him with a tail, but he never had one.
Pikachu.
Remember, I remember Curious George, but yeah, Pikachu always had a black tip on his tail, but in reality, it never did.
Um, I I know he did, or he
Yeah,
did.
see, I've never been a fan, so
I
I
wasn't.
know very
All
little.
my
I know
friends
very
were
little
fucking
about that.
nerds. All my friends were fucking nerds, and yeah, I was like, yeah, and I'm pretty fucking observant. I remember crazy
Kit
man.
Kit Kat, Kit Kat was always one word. You remember that?
No, I
I
remember
think I
it.
remember the package where Kit was up top, and then it had a like a hyphen, and then down below it said cat.
Yeah,
Yeah, it says here that it was always one word, Kit Kat, not Kit hyphen cat.
no, I did. Yeah, it was separated. It was definitely separated. All right. Uh,
The fruit of the loom. How about that one with the cornucopia?
dude, I remember that. All my tidy whities left that irritating fucking band
You
around
know,
your waist. This
you know what
little
my
kid.
sister said when her and I were talking about this a couple months ago, and what my older sister told me was she said that's how I know what a cornucopia is, and I laughed. I'm like, yeah, I believe that's true. That's how I know what a cornucopia is because that's what was on there. Like, where else do you see a cornucopia in your life that you'd be like, what is that called?
Yeah.
You know, the Thanksgiving table? I don't know.
Well, I never knew what it was called, but I do remember there was a fruit basket.
Yeah, it's called a cornucopia. It's shaped like
Yeah.
a cone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's how I knew what it was because of that.
Yeah. Because, dude, I remember that. That was definitely there. I man, because you know, I remember I couldn't wait to get home from school, whatever, and taking things off, and you'd have that like a freaking
Yeah,
that band
I remember the commercials where the guys
acting
were in like
around you.
a grape suit, and then there was a guy wearing an apple, like this
Mm-hmm.
big apple suit.
Yeah,
What was
yeah,
it?
yeah.
There were grapes, apple. There was four of them, right?
I don't remember that for sure, but I do remember the commercial. And there's all bumbling around.
Yeah, there were four guys, and they were dressed up like fruit. So it was an apple, grapes. What were the other two fruits?
Purple grapes.
That's gonna mess with me now. Now I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Mm. Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely up there in the Mandela effects. There's oh, shoot, it was right there at the top of my mind, and now it's gone. That's a good one too. Oh, the Queen song.
Which one?
We are the champions.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he does in the song. They do say we are the champions of the world, and my friend all this that happens. But I do remember at the very end, right before it totally cuts out, he says of the world.
Oh yeah, I
But
remember that.
now when they play it, it just cuts out and it's not there.
Yeah, I remember that because he says it in a different tone. Of the world. Yeah, I get it. I'm
Yeah,
not a singer.
but yeah, at the end, whenever the song like dies out, he said it really more, yeah, way more calmly.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
All right. So
I
here's
heard
the
on
here's
TV today after hearing about that on the was as a Mandela effect, and I was like, holy shit, that's real.
yeah. Here's the four fruits. Okay. Red apple, green grapes, purple grapes, and green leaves. So it's only really technically three fruit, and then green leaves around the apple and the grapes. Huh. I thought there were four fruit.
Wow, hey, now it gets even deeper, man.
Yeah. Right. We just discovered another Mandela effect.
No, because yeah, that one don't make sense. Not at all.
Well, so let's like the they was called the fruit of the loom, right?
Yeah,
So when they're referring to a loom, is that like,
the basket.
well, is it, or is it like a loom where they would make underwear back in the day? Now I'm gonna have to look at you.
Man, you know, I don't want to really think that hard about underwear.
I overthink everything, bro. It's
I
a
would be walking
framer.
around in my
A loom is a frame or a machine for weaving textiles. That's what it is. So,
so
all right, let's go off on this side road. I know you've messed around with it a little bit. What do you think about AI and Chat GPT?
some wild stuff, man.
Yeah, it is, brother. It is. I've kind of gotten like I've caught Chat GPT like lying about stuff, and it apologizes, and it's also
Yeah, it does.
yeah, and it's also LOL'd at me before, like
There
like
there you go.
weird. And I've tried to. It's funny because I'll tell you this quick story, dude. I've tried for the last I'll say I'll say 3 months. I've tried to explain to my 79-year-old father um, what AI is. Okay, and he has such a hard time because he thinks like in order to when he types something in his computer, someplace somewhere somebody's typing back or has typed into it already. He doesn't understand that AI thinks for itself, and and I have no way of explaining that to him. So I told him like, okay, so somebody taught you how to feed yourself, right? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And I said, so who taught you how to breathe? And he's like, nobody. And I said, that's AI. It's stuff that like you don't. It's not. It doesn't have to be. It. I don't even know how to explain it. There's nobody that's put the information in. Some of it scours through and gets it, but it also makes up its own mind. Like it can make decisions on stuff. So the rest of the story is he calls me. What is today? Wednesday. He called me Monday, and I was talking to him on the phone, and he said, you know, I meet him every Saturday for breakfast every Saturday morning, and he said when we meet for breakfast on Saturday, you think you can put that AI chat stuff on my phone for me? Teach me how to use it? And I just kind of chuckled and I said, hell yeah, I can. But like
Sometimes it fucks with me a bit, man, because it seems like it's like real, you know.
oh, it is, dude, it is. And like think about this, okay? Because I don't know what you deal with, but think about this. Like I use the free one. I don't pay
Well,
for it.
yeah,
I use
I
the
use
chat.
the free one too. I don't
Imagine
pay for that.
imagine what you get if you bought it. You know, like, okay, all right, let's CERN has its own artificial intelligence that runs that. Can you imagine the advanced level that is?
What about the uh, artificial intelligent robots that they have in China now, or Japan, or wherever it is, where it's like they're people, but they're real. You know, like the sex doll ones, dude. That
Right,
is
right. But if you think about like, at least in my opinion, and the way I view everything, is like that's nothing compared to what is out there right now. Like
I
that's just like
know.
nothing.
I
That's
could
like
just
nothing.
imagine being a billionaire with one of those. and you're divorced, your kid comes over, and your kid's like, "Why is your girlfriend always going to the closet after she makes you dinner?"
Right. Well, I guess the question is, if he was a billionaire, you wouldn't need one of those.
Yeah, well, they probably, I don't know, man. Those people are sick.
Well, I guess that just proves my point. You know. But yeah, so like I think about like how much different it would be if I bought Chat GPT versus the free version of it. Because like
I
like my dad, and this is I keep bringing him up because it's been I'm not going to say a struggle, but it's been like this real learning curve for me because I had to learn about it, and then I'm trying to.
Are you still talking? I lost your audio, man. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Well, for all of you waiting while we experience these momentary technical difficulties, why don't you take this time to go ahead and click like and subscribe? If you don't, you'll miss out on stuff. And your life will suck. So take this moment, click like, click subscribe. And while you're doing that, go on over to Pittsburgh Podcast, open up two things, click, 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 click. Not expecting this. Okay. I wish I had a monologue here. There you go.
No, yeah, no. Should be able to hear me, bro.
I hear you now.
All right. All right. Yeah, I think my headphones died. Could be wrong,
Yeah,
but all right. As long as you can hear me, I'm back on this mic.
I can hear you now.
All right. I can't hear you as well because I don't have the earbuds in, but we'll get through
That's fine.
it. So anyway, where was we at? What were we talking about the AI stuff? But yeah, I wonder like if I paid for it, how much different it would be than the free version of it. You ever mess with Grok on X?
You know, I haven't ever really messed around on X at all.
Yeah, I haven't either. Once Twitter started acting goofy years ago, I wiped myself off of it, and I haven't been back since.
I share things on to a channel there. Other than that, I don't deal with it. You're getting some kind of feedback.
Feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get a hardware pair of. Let me try these again.
Or yeah, because I'm hearing myself. So
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Maybe I
sounds
just
good
had to
now.
reset. Maybe
Sound-
I had to just reset what was going on.
Yep, that everything sounds good now.
All right. Yeah, I was looking while I was waiting. I was sitting in here waiting. I'm looking at like, I bought this iPad to do this, and I wish I'd have just bought a laptop to do it. I spent a lot of money on this particular one,
Well, the iPads are expensive.
and I just wish I'd have just bought a laptop because then I could hardwire this stuff into it. But I think like think it's called an audio interface. I think I'm going to end up buying one. It's like $100 or something like that. But it comes with its own microphone and everything, and then I can plug it right into my iPhone.
Yeah,
and then I have gain and everything on the interface control, which is, I think, a good idea. The only problem I'm having is all of it sucks power from my iPhone. It doesn't have a plug-in I can plug in on its own. So once again, I'm back to where I wish I had a laptop just to do all this with.
that's where God. I have a broken wheel on my
I
chair.
don't know good. I don't have wheels.
Well, this one, I was on a shag carpet for a while, and when I would
Yeah.
go around, and one of the wheels it got weak and it cracked through the thin plastic. I gotta get that. I'm just gonna go pick up some. I love this chair. But some of that steel, epoxy steel, is wedged in there and
Yeah.
go back.
I know what you're talking about. I'm on a hardwood floor, so I'd like to have wheels. But then I thought too, as much as I'd move around, I'd wear marks on the floor, and I don't want to do that. It's a real nice dark hardwood floor. I don't want to mess with it. So I'll deal with what I got when it comes to that. But I think I'm gonna try and improve my number one. Like I use my iPhone for a camera and to do this because I know how to use it. Where I think I'm going to slowly try to put something together where I can use this mic and have a specific camera hooked up, sitting on this, I don't know what you call it, this mechanical arm that I don't have to use my phone.
Yeah.
I can just I just think that's going to be the best way, like you've got going on there.
Well,
And I'm sure because
I'm not using just a phone right now.
Right, but I'm saying, but because the way you've always done it is through your laptop, though, right?
Well, yeah, I use the phone, and then I have I have 3 wardrobe cameras. 2 are digital, one's optical.
What do you use for a microphone right now, Rich?
Right now, I'm talking to you right through. It's a Motorola.
Oh, no kidding! Right through
Right
your
through the
phone?
phone. Right through
Right
the
through your
phone.
phone?
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, because you got good, clear sound. I mean, I don't know how far you are from it, but it sounds good, dude. It's like,
I'm
right.
about 4 feet away.
Oh wow, yeah, sounds good.
Can't figure my arm's length, and there's about a foot past that.
I've got my JBL headphones in, ear pods, earbuds, whatever.
Cool.
I like that. I like that because I can hear you better than I can through my phone. But I'm kind of getting, old and not as I can't hear as well. So I like having the earbuds in so I can hear you better.
Oh,
But I think ultimately, like I've got a nice pair of like headphones, big headphones that I game with. That ultimately I could bring those in and plug those in and have those on too. You know what I mean? And,
right. Yeah, I back in the day, I used to use my gamer.
yeah.
It looked like an alien on these big.
Yeah.
They glowed and had lights and an arm maybe looked like a.
Yeah, I got those, and the boom mic flips down and up, and when it flips up where
Yeah,
you can't even see it. It's like it
and,
flips inside the headphones. But I'll tell you what's amazing about those is like they've got the technology down, dude. Where like when I'm gaming, if somebody walks behind me in the game, I can hear them walk behind me and shit, and it
right
trips me
there.
out, bro. Yeah, it trips me out. Like when they run past you, you can hear which direction they're running. It's crazy. I like playing that game still.
I jumped once and I twitched and I did something to the fucking wire
Yeah,
and
mine are wireless.
I never bought another set like them again. But
Mine are
mine
wireless.
they had the behind you 3D sound. I was
Yeah,
amazing.
it is amazing.
Dude, I was playing Call of Duty around that time, and I was playing Hawken, and damn, dude.
Yeah, I play Warzone. It'd be easy to say every day, but it's not necessarily every day. Like today, they were installing my air conditioner in new furnace in the house, and I put the headphones on so I didn't have to hear him banging around and was playing it. But see, I used to play it on a small monitor, and then now, and I kind of got out of it. You know, nowadays people, me included, we got these big ass TVs, and so mine's like a 65 inch. No, it's not that big. 58 inch, I think, is what it is. And it was like hard to play because I had to, you know, look at this side, look at this side instead of just looking at the screen. I had to always move my head. But I've gotten so used to it now, like I don't know how I would play on a smaller screen. I
Yeah,
don't even know how I'd do it.
like years ago, I had a 65-inch, but it was a projector thing. It broke.
Yeah, yeah.
It was, I bought it from one of those rent centers,
Dude, dude, I'll
so
tell you,
I paid twice as much for it, but
right. And it
it was
lasted half as long.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the 65-inch television playing the games, dude. I do remember I'd be actually looking to the left, to the right, like
Yeah, yeah.
you
That
really
reminds me, dude.
turn your head.
That reminds me. I'll tell you a story, all right? I bought a 65 inch TV or 58-inch TV from Walmart. It was a certain cheap brand, you know, it was a few $100. And I had it for like 3 months and it just quit. So normally I won't mess around with warranties or nothing, but I was like, man, this thing should have lasted longer, and it just wouldn't turn on. So so we went through the warranty process, and I live about I don't live near a city, so they had to send a guy from Kokomo, which is probably maybe close to an hour drive to where I'm at, right? And Kokomo's more of a city, and so I I called him and
Yeah,
everything's set
it
up.
sounds like the was song Kokomo.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, where I used to live was like you drove a quarter mile off the road down a gravel driveway to get to my house. You get to my house, and I've got like a Trump flag on the flagpole and an American flag, you know. And this guy shows up. It's a black guy. He shows up, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna look at your TV and decide whether it can be fixed or not. You know, blah blah blah. I'm a technician. I'm like, cool. Come on in, bro. Come on in. You know, come in and check out my TV. And so he got down on the ground with it and took the back off, and he messed with some stuff and scratched out the barcode on the back of it. And then he looks at me and he says, now you're not going to like this, but I'm going to scratch the screen on it and then just tell them that you need a new TV and they'll send you a new TV. But if by taking the barcode off of it, they won't service it anymore. And then I'm going to scratch the screen so that it's just not a good TV anymore, right? And I said, okay, do whatever. I don't care as long as I get a new one. And he scratched on this screen, dude. I showed it to several people, and some people are like, "Yeah, it says that." Other people are like, "No, you dude, you're making too much out of it." So he did it. He reached his arm around the front and scratched this in there, but he wrote "F U Whitey" on it, scratched it in the screen, and it looked like it wasn't like clear as a bell, right? And the TV would work sometimes, so I put it out in my shop, and I had it hanging up. And if it worked, I'd turn it on, you know, and just watch. I'd watch the TV while I was out in my shop. So that's how I got looking at it, and I'm like, this motherfucker wrote "Fu Whitey" on the front of this scratched it on this TV, and then left. That's a
Did you
true
get
story, dude. That's a true story.
a new TV though?
Got a brand new, and I still have it.
So you had a new TV, and the other one said F. U. Whitey.
Yeah, I threw it in a dumpster. But my point is like I didn't do anything to provoke that from this guy. I was like, come on in my house, man. But I had a Trump flag hanging, and he, you know, it was obvious. Like I don't even know, but it was like, yeah, it was pretty crazy. And I'd show people, I'd be like, look, right here is the F, right here is the U, and then down below like W, and it was spelled WITEY, which he left the H out of it, but you know, he's like scratching it backwards. And if you can imagine, like
Damn.
You tried to write something like that, it was all sloppy and whatever. But like, I don't know. It's pretty fun. Pretty funny after the fact.
Hey, it's funny. You and I are laughing about. I know I'm laughing about it, but if it happened to other types of people, they'd be like, "We need to go burn something the fuck down."
Oh yeah, yeah, right. I'm gonna go rob a Calvin Klein store.
Honestly, I think that's the funniest thing I've fucking heard.
Dude, it was crazy. Like I'm sitting there one day looking, and this is when I smoked and everything. And I'm sitting there like watching the TV, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And then I played it out in my mind. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what it says."
Oh
But if
man.
you can imagine, like the T was crossed really funny, the Y was made like funny, and then it kind of the tail went way across. So it was just like, you know, I don't know. I made it out of it for sure. But yeah, true story. That happened. That was about 3 years, 4 years ago.
Well, he didn't get you a new TV though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was due one because this TV was only a couple months old, and they're just cheap. I think called Insignia, cheap brand.
Yeah, I had one of those. Yeah, I don't think
I've
it's.
actually I've actually got two of them now. There's one in the living room that I watch every day and game on, and then there's one in my bedroom. That I've never had a TV in my bedroom as an adult ever. I never ever have a TV in my room. And then my father-in-law died, and he had a TV, and he was in a nursing home. He had an identical 58-inch TV in his room in his nursing home. And when he died, we brought the TV home because I mean it's a good TV. It's only like a year old, and we got it set in our room right now. And I've never even turned it on. I don't lay in bed and watch TV ever.
The screen says "fuck you, Whitey."
Yeah, right. That one went in the dumpster. I think that one was a 55-inch, and I got a 58. I think is how it worked out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was like I got what I needed out of it, and I just thought it was funny. This guy come from the city.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing,
Oh
but it
no,
was.
it was, dude. It was. He come. I try to put myself in his shoes, and it was like he came from the city and turned down my driveway and probably stopped and was like, "Man, I don't even want to. I don't even want to go down here." He probably heard the banjos playing. Right, right. Yeah, because it was literally a quarter mile off the road. You couldn't see where I lived from the road. You just seen mailboxes out there in a driveway lined with pine trees. It was awesome living there, dude. I really hated the move from that place.
There ain't no street signs. Just go
Oh no. Oh no.
five shanty houses and make it right.
No, no. And I miss living there because like I could walk out on my deck, and I had about 50 yards away on the base of this tree. I had targets set up, so I could literally walk out my front door and set up on my deck and fucking shoot from right there. Like I could go out in the middle of the night and dump a magazine if I wanted.
And you wonder why the TV repairman was scared to come by your
No,
house.
because I'm not that way, dude. I told him, come on in. Welcome to my home. Come on in.
I was
But
fucking.
I had a flagpole. I had a 30-foot flagpole right there. There was a sidewalk going from the driveway to the deck, and right next to it, I had a flagpole, dude. And I flew American flag up top and a Trump flag right below it. And I had Amazon drivers and UPS drivers, dude, like be shitheads because of that. Shitheads.
That's dumb. People being like that because of things like that.
What do you do?
That's why, like, I don't know. I think my neighbors think I'm racist because I have American flags outside of my place.
Yeah, right. You're in a little different situation, though. You're in a lot different situation where you're at versus where I'm at. I'm like, I'm literally like a half a mile from a college, and it's a Christian college, so it's like pretty straight laced. Um, I don't think I've ever been any place where I felt as safe as I do right now.
Yeah, if I walk out my door, I'm probably a quarter mile away from junkie passed out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That won't fly around here, dude. Like old lady across the street. I walked out one day last week. Walked outside and there's two cop cars sitting over at her house, and it happens to be one of the ladies I play cards with twice a week. So when I seen her, I said, Janice, man, I've seen cops at your house, and she's like, well, I hated to do it. She's 84 years old. She's like, I hated to do it, but that kid keeps riding a scooter in the sidewalk behind my house, and I'm not going to have him do that. That's what people call the cops on. And two cops show up for a 10-year-old kid riding a scooter on the private property sidewalk. You know what I mean? It's like if there was a junkie walking down the street, dude, there'd be a SWAT team coming after him. The joys of living in a small town.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm about ready to wrap it up, bro.
Same here, man.
It's been 80 minutes and almost 81 minutes. We got 4 likes out of it. Before you get off here, let me tell you what happened on my. So I've gained 2 subscribers. Not going to complain about that. I won't know how many views we got until I shut this off. It'll tell me how many people got on, how many people stayed on. It'll give me some more of the, what do you call it? Like I don't even know how to say the word. But anyway, it's been a pleasure, like always.
Well, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, anybody that watched, I appreciate you coming by and watching and listen to us ramble on and on. I look forward to doing it again. I don't know what you think, but I'd do this once a week, man. I wouldn't have no problem doing it once a week.
Hey, man, anytime you want.
I could get into some serious talk.
I think I'm not. I don't want to interrupt you.
Sure.
The next time, anytime this airs again, the fact that I'm not going to interrupt you isn't going to be there because of the Mandela effect, and we're probably going to end up talking about the Smurfs.
No. What I'd like to talk about really. So in the next couple of days, verse yourself up on this is, I've always considered myself a good Christian, and you always back Israel up. Well, the last week or two, man, I've been really looking into what Israel's up to all the time, dude, and it's got me bent, man. Israel's got me bent out of shape for sure. So something I'd like to talk about is that sort of stuff. There's some stuff that I learned that Israel's up to, and it's just like I don't think a lot of people realize. So I don't know. I don't want to get assassinated either, so maybe that's not a topic to talk about. I don't know. But nonetheless, we'll figure it out.
Well, we can get VPNs, but they probably already know where we're at.
Oh yeah, you can't hide from that stuff.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you can't hide from that stuff. Nor would I.
But then again, everybody already knows where I am.
Yeah, I don't hide from nobody. But anyway, yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow or maybe the next day or something, and we'll get the next topic worked out. And the sooner we get it worked out, the more I can schedule when we're going to do it, so maybe more people will see it.
Yeah, man.
So if we come up with a topic, and you as well, and if you want, it's up to you. But if you want to go on your channel and me be your guest, then we can air videos on your channel just the same. So something to think about. It's easy to do. I think I could talk you through it easy enough if you haven't got it figured out.
Yeah, I think we'll have to do that.
So maybe next time, instead of going on mine, we'll go on yours, or however, don't matter.
Or maybe there'd be a way that we could do both at the same time. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we could do that because that eliminates the guest part of it, and I think that's what YouTube does.
Yeah.
They set it up so you can co-opt and you can play off of each other, but it's like, everything everything on the channels makes me the administrator, so I have control of everything that I don't think you do. That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna have to. We'll have to talk about that. You have to explain that to me.
Pretty easy. If a dumbo like me can figure it out, I'm sure you can.
Cool. Well, hey, man. Thanks again for having me on.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go, brother. I'll talk to you either tomorrow or the day after something. In the next couple of days, we'll talk. And everybody out there that watched, appreciate it. I got a couple subscribers out of it, so I'm at 213 now. I appreciate the two that did it. I'm going to click into that, and if I can, I'll subscribe to your channel as well. So anyway, everybody have a good evening. Talk to you later. See you, Rich.